So, good morning. Today we are going to talk about a new code chef problem. Let me share this problem with you. The name of the problem is Chef on an Island. It's a very basic problem. It might seem overwhelming when you see all these X, Y's, and I's and input process, as well as the output. So first understand what exactly they want, and then we will see how we have to approach this problem. Okay, let's understand this question by this pictorial view. I have it for you. So basically, what they are saying. They are saying that the one chef, he is in Ireland, right? And he will be able to reach once he create the boat in D days, right? And he has some specific set of food supply, water supply, right, to be there to survive. So there are number of supplies. You have X number of food supplies that he has, and Y number of water supply, right? That he has to survive for D days. The number of days that he can survive is D days. Right now, what you need to find whether he will be able to survive or not. This is what the scenario of the question is all about, right? So, what you're going to input, let's see. So here you will input 4 as a X. That is food supply. So chef total has 4 food supplies. Alright. And then 2, then you will input water supply. Okay. He's having 2 as total water supply. Alright. Then it is per day. How many uh, per day food supply he need 1, right? And then for water supply he need 1, right? So this is the input that you are putting. And what is this? This is the number of days that he's there, how many days it took him to make a boat. Only 1 day. All right. So this is the question. So for 1 day, if we are saying that he need 1 food supply, but he already had 4. So he's good with the food supply. He can survive for 1 day. But make sure the water supply is also there. So you have to match the water supply as well. So for 1 day, right, for water supply, number need to be 1, right? So how many total water supplies? He had 2. So yes, he has a sufficient number of water supplies and a food to survive for 1 day. So that's why you have to put output as yes. This is what the question is all about. All right. Okay, let's take another scenario. There are different scenarios they have given. So let's take another scenario. The second scenario. Now, we know what is the first number that we have to input. How many food supply? So he's having 4 as a food supply. So total number of food supplies he's having 4, right? Then this 2 is water supply. How many water supplies that you have? That is 2. Then how many number of need per day? So how many food he need for per day? They said, okay, he just need one. Out of 4, he need 1. So he's good with the food. Then how many water supply he need for a day? That is 3. But he had only 2. All right. And for how many days? Just for 1 day. So both the conditions are not satisfied since he is having water supply but very less water supply. All right. So he cannot survive. So the answer will be no. Right. Next, moving on to the next question. Next part of the question, let's see. Okay. Now you have input 4. Total is 4. Right? We are taking the third scenario. So total food supply is 4. Total water supply is 2. You have 2 as a water supply. All right. Now next, need per day. How much he need per day? 4. So he need 4 as a per day, right? For food, he need 4 as a per day. And for water, he need 2, right? This is for the 1 day requirement he is having, right? For each day, he need 4 food items and 2 water bottles, all right, for 1 day. But how many days? For 2 days. So we need to find that whether he is able to survive for 2 days or not with this amount of your supplies. So since for 1 day he can survive, but if we go in the second day, right, he will not survive. So the answer will be no. So here comes, it gives us a very simple basic logic that if the value of x, right, is greater than or equals to XR. XR is how many supplies he need for a day. Multiply by the number of days. Either it could be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, depending. The value of D may varies. Right? So XR multiply by D. Right? And this is what we are doing it for the food. But we have to do it for the water as well. Right? So and for water, it will become like this. Y is greater than YR into D. That's it. So if this condition is here, then you have to print yes. Otherwise, you have to print no. That's a very simple question. Yes and no and if and else and add conditions. Right? So let's go back in the code chef and see and read the question so that we understood what we have done. So here, if you see, suppose a chef is stuck on an island and is currently having X unit of food supply. So X is the total food supplies he is having, and Y unit as a water supply in total that he could collect from the island. Now he need XR unit of food supply and YR unit of water supply per day. So for per day, he need XR and YR. Now, at the minimal, to have a sufficient energy to build a boat for wood and also live for another day. That's what he required. Assuming that it take D days for him to build a boat and reach to the shore. Right? So tell whether the chef has sufficient amount of supply to be able to reach to the shore by building the boat or not. Now, what you need to input, the first line contained the T. It is the number of test cases. Okay. 3. So it means you can enter 3 test cases for each time. So first is always T. So let's start. We have to first start with T. It's always T. Right? These are the number of test cases. Since if I enter 3, so it could go reverse. So let's make me a while loop. Right? And then let's start here. Now, what he's saying, each test case consists a single input, 5 values. X, how many food items? Y, total number of water he is having. XR, per day food item. YR, per day water item. And D is the how many days he has taken to survive. All right. So that you have to input. Okay. So here, let's integer. It's up to you. It's good always to put it here. So X, Y, right? XR, YR, and D, right? Now let me scan it because these are the input that we are required. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one is this, comma, and operator X. right? So you have scanned it and you have entered the value. Now, for each test cases, output should be either yes or no, right? And yeah, without quotes. So make sure and in a new line also. Now, what is the value of T? T, we can go up to 300 test cases. So here, instead of 3, you can go up to maximum 300. Less than equals to is also there. So X value it should be greater than 1 and Y value should be less than 100. So X and Y go to 1 and 100, that how many amount of food supplies he is having. And X and Y, how many days? The maximum 10 days he can survive. All right. So that's it. This is what the scenario of the question is. So let's start. So we already know the logic that if he is having, right, here he has also given the lab. The chef food supply was last from 4 by 1 equals to 4 days, and water supply lasts to 2 by 1, that is 2 days in total, and he need to available. You can use any of the logic, right? These are the test cases that he has put. All right. So let me give you a very simple logic that we have defined. So what we know that, right, if what is X? X is total food item he is having, right? If X is greater than equals to, right, what is XR? How many food items he is having for a day, right? So he's having one food item. He required one food item to survive for a day, right? And how many days he need to survive? That we are also, we don't know. We have to enter. So we have to do this as well. That's it. So if your total food item that is there is greater than equals to how many he required, multiply by the days, it's simple mathematics, right? This is for the food and same for the your water. All right. So that's it. That's what you have done. Simply put it like this. X value is this, right? Then what we have to print? Okay. Yes. Print yes. Otherwise, print no. It's very simple. I don't need these spaces, so I will not go with this. Else, right? So this is what you do. And then you do the return statement. That's it. That's what you did. So let me run this and see whether it's working or not. Yeah, it's working for the first test case. So we have to check for all the other test cases that he has entered and till 300, right? Yes, successfully submitted. So you just need to understand the logic and how we get into the samples. That's it. Thank you so much. This we will be coming up with the next video tomorrow. So stay tuned. Thank you.